before we talk about John Wick 2, let me spoil this movie that you wanted to see. So my third John Wick 2 is which we just got out of. This is was my third movie today. Actually, my sixth movie this week.
Jesus Christ!
I'm going out of town tomorrow, so I saw all 3 movies today. Normally I wouldn't have been able to fit in like all 3 new movies in a day, but since Lego Batman's a kids movie,
Nice early showtime.
Yeah, they did. They showed it at like a 5:00 screening. So it was me and like just this family or something, and that was it. And then it was just me dressed like this, sitting just in the middle of the theater, just with a soda,
Shaking a couple change at him.
just shaking some change at him. Do you mind? Which is hilarious because it means I afforded the 3D screening.
Saved up to get in here. Now can you get me some popcorn?
Lego Batman is. Did you like the Lego movie?
Yeah, no, I thought it was very charming. I thought it had some punchy jokes and it was endearing.
This movie is too. It's not. I didn't think it was a fraction as good as the Lego movie, honestly. It is entertaining. It is likable. What it is Batman. It deals a lot with him just kind of being like lonely and bored in the hanging around Wayne Manor all the time. And Wayne Manor in this is stately Wayne Manor on Wayne Island, in which it's like a 17-story building that has like 50,000 different Batmobiles in it, and just this platform that keeps as he walks across it. Like, it's over the top and absurd and outlandish, but it's pretty fun to look at. And the Joker's big plan in it is because they treat Batman and the Joker in this almost like it's a rom-com, like instead of the Joker wanting Batman to tell him that he loves him, he wants him to tell him that he hates him because he wants to be Batman's main arch nemesis, and Batman's just kind of like, oh, I'm fighting a bunch of different villains, and yeah, you're just one of them. So that
he's so non-committal.
Yeah, that's and so the Joker's trying to make him committal, and in doing so, he hatches this scheme in which he and the rest of the Batman villains, and like the Riddler and Bane and King Tut is in this, Eggman, like all of like the really obscure ones are also kind of in the background in this. Their plan is they set up their own capture, or at least the Joker sets up that they all get captured and they thrown in Arkham, and they know that Batman's going to come up with the idea that he just wants to get rid of them once and for all. So what he does is he and Robin break into the Fortress of Solitude in order to get they're having a Justice League party there, and they didn't invite Batman, which goes towards Batman's feeling of depression and loneliness, because no one else likes him. And
like Aquaman gets an invite, Batman doesn't.
Yeah. So, who is the dog? Wonder Dog? Wonder Dog was the DJ at this party.
Superman's dog?
Yeah.
Crypto.
Yes, yeah. So he ends up stealing the ray gun, which shoots the Joker up into the Phantom Zone. Is that right? It's been a while since I've seen this movie. It's been hours. So the Joker is shot up there, where he takes all the villains that are there and takes them back to Earth so he can take over Gotham City, and it's like Voldemort, the Eye of Sauron. The actual mound with the eye on it.
Just a big pile and an eyeball.
And the Gremlins. So they're all taking over Gotham City, which again is good for Batman, because with all the villains gone, he was very bored.
Kind of nothing to do.
There was really nothing to do. At one point, he's in Arkham and the villain's in there, and Bane's like, release us, let us help you, because of course he has that voice. Batman's like, releasing a bunch of criminals to capture other criminals? That's just stupid. This seems to take place in a continuity that all of the Batman movies exist in, because they reference like the Burton Batman, the Nolan ones, the 60s one, Batman v Superman, like, so just all of those just kind of exist in this universe. And the movie was entertaining. It's not, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I might have enjoyed this better had I not recently seen Batman Return of the Cape Crusaders, the animated movie.
Yeah, the kind of throwback to like 60s Batman.
Had Adam West, Burt Ward back, again, like a collection of villains, also had like little appearances by, you know, like King Tut and people like that. That movie I thought was far funnier than this. I thought it was even more clever than this movie. This movie is entertaining and it is likable, but it's also very pandering. Like, it's got, everyone's just kind of speaking really modern lingo in this. Like the Joker saying like, "What's up, J Diz in the house," and things like that. And like a villain will rub his ass on the Batmobile and say, "Now it's the Buttmobile." It's, every character kind of talks like this. When they go into the Phantom Zone, there's this kind of box that says like, "Oh, you must be a bad guy. Well, let's check you out to see if you're a real baddie." Like, in the Lego movie, how it turned out that, like, you know, it's a kid playing with these toys and everything. Yeah. They don't do that here, but it does feel like a kid playing with all of these toys because they all kind of have the same voice. Not that they sound, not in how they talk.
Yeah, like their manner of speaking is like the same, like, throughout. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's like one person wrote all of, like I'm not gonna write like this is Batman and I write him as dark and brooding, and this is, you know, the Joker and I write him as kind of sinister. It's just like everybody's like, it's like, here is what everyone is, and just attached to names.
Yeah, they all have this. Yeah, they all have this, the same amount of pandering to the audience that they're doing. Like, Batman will suddenly start beatboxing the 60s Batman theme and say stuff like, "Yo, no doubt," and things like that. And it, I don't know, like, that didn't really work for me. And the movies, it's very, very meta. Which, I mean, so is the other one, but this one,
it kind of, like, with the Lego movie itself, like, it kind of, like, that was kind of the point.
No, totally.
Like, it was definitely like they could have just kept it like how it was there at the beginning, when it's just like, oh, everybody singing, you know, and it's like they're just going through their day to day, and then it's like immediately it's like, oh, but yeah, no, we're gonna break the fourth wall and we're gonna do all this, and it kept kind of popping in and out of everything. But yeah, I can see without that, it's just like, this seems like this is odd that any of this is happening.
It's really meta in that, like, okay, the opening is like a black background, is just black on the screen, and then Batman's voice narrates it and saying, "A serious movie like this always starts with a black screen, so you know I'm saying something really serious." And then the black and white Warner Brothers logo is gonna come up, and then there's gonna be a quote on here, and I'm like, you're just kind of pointing out the cliches. You're not really doing anything with it. You're just pointing out that it's happening.
Yeah, that's that's a level of, like, fourth wall breaking that, like, I would expect from a character like Deadpool.
Yeah.
A character who is designed like, I mean, maybe not from, like, his original inception, but where he's definitely gotten to over the years as a character. It's like, yeah, like, that's kind of his shtick at this point.
And Deadpool, at least when he does that for, and I'm just going by the movie, but when he was doing a lot of the fourth wall breaking and that, there were jokes attached to it. You know, in this, yeah, when it does that, here and there are, but it really is just kind of, you're just kind of pointing out the cliches, and that's it. And then it'll just kind of reference things just cause. And again, it's probably because the Return of the Cape Crusaders movie did comedic Batman way more clever than this. For instance, a good example is that in Return of the Cape Crusaders, there was a part where Batman is poisoned by this gas and it turns him into like a much darker Batman. So he kind of starts turning into like the Michael Keaton Batman. And when that happens, he says like, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. So there's really context and build up to that happening. In this, he just says, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. Cause that's a reference to 89 Batman. And they have all of these villains show up, but really it's just the Joker's the bad guy. Like, Billy D. Williams is the voice of Two-Face. He has like 2 lines. And at that point, it's like...
That's just a throwback to the first...
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, because he was Harvey Dent in the...
And when you actually see him in the crowd of 100 different villains, like, it looks like Billy D. Williams if he was Two-Face. And they have if you get Billy D. Williams to finally, after all of these years, go from Harvey Dent to Two-Face, either make him a character or don't do it. Because just giving him 2 lines as this, it's like, wow, that's a really missed opportunity right there.
Yeah, it's like, you put in all of this effort to get him back to do this, and it's for like a fucking throwaway gag. Like,
yeah, just like 1 or 2 lines, and that's it really. And there's a lot of other things going on in there, so it's not like it's really focused on him when he has these lines.
So kind of like maybe not like a direct comparison, but kind of like they're towards like the third act of the Lego Movie. Once like they just start like introducing like everybody, like fucking like Superman shows up and like all kinds of shit happening. Yeah. Where I forget where the fuck they are, like heaven or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know. But it's just like everything happening at once. Felt like fucking like those Imagination Land episodes of, like South Park, where it's like there's all kinds of like cool references and in jokes and pop culture referencing and all kinds of stuff happening, but it's all happening at once. So for every one thing you do see, there's probably 5 you aren't.
Yeah, and that's cool when it works. I mean, I see stuff like that work a lot, or you can go back and rewatch something, and yeah, you might notice something that you didn't before. In this, I laughed here and there. It wasn't consistently hilarious to me. Like, I actually went long stretches in this where I can't say I was bored. I was endeared by it, certainly, because Will Arnett's really likable as Batman, but I got a few big laughs out of this, and then a scattering of small ones. Like, there are really funny parts in this, like when he goes and visits an orphanage and shoots all the kids with a merch gun, which just puts Batman merchandise on all of them. Like, stuff like that was funny, and watching him be bored around Wayne Manor was funny, and the jokes about Robin's costume were funny. Here's the thing though. Everything I just mentioned that I got big laughs at, aside from like the merch part, is in the trailer for this movie.
I was gonna say, because I know like just him like just bopping around, with like Alfred like yelling at him. Like I remember like a couple of the trailers showed different like scenes or like different variations of that happening.
Yeah, and that's that happens a lot in this movie, and I didn't love this. Like, I mean, it was fine. It was. But you know what? Like, I have heard this is getting pretty great reviews, honestly. So there's certainly an audience for it. It's certainly not a bad movie. It's just a movie that's perfectly fine. It's entertaining, and I didn't love it. Towards the end of it, honestly, like, I was really waiting for it to be over, because like the next movie was about to start, and Sarah was texting me that she was here, and then how fucking crowded the next movie was gonna be. So I had to run out and give Sarah her ticket, and then be like, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. My other movie's just wrapping up right now. Like, I still have the 3D glasses on, and I go back in there. I'm waiting for this to end. I'm like, I thought this was like 90 minutes. Like, it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something. But I was like, this should have ended like 10 minutes ago. Like, why is this still? I swear this plot wrapped up like 10 fucking minutes ago. And then it pauses. It does a thing before the end where it's like it flashes white on the screen and says, "Now it's going to white, so you know something deep and meaningful is gonna happen." Like I know, just end this, god damn it. I mean, that was just me being impatient, honestly, but I think Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders is hands down a much, much smarter and funnier movie than this. But you know what? Kids will really like this movie. I think, yeah, it's a likable movie. Like, me personally, I think it's worth. I would put it as a rental, honestly.
Kind of one of those, like, depending on your level of enthusiasm going in, you're gonna get what you're expecting.
I thought it would be better. I was really looking forward to this. Like, the trailers really did sell me on this movie. And the movie that it is again not as good as the other Batman comedy I saw. But I will say this, of the Batman movies that we got in the past, like, year, it's the second best. There's Return of the Caped Crusaders, this. I would put Suicide Squad over Batman v Superman. Yeah, I would definitely put... That movie I thought was kind of entertaining. Batman v Superman, oh, fuck me.
And another one that just didn't really know when to just go ahead and end.
Yeah!
It's like they fought and, oh no, he died. Like, it's like, oh man, this would be wrapping up here in another 20 minutes.
Oh, I forgot about Killing Joke. I guess I would put that between Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. So this one, of the 5, wow. This is the second best. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on that.